Saturday, September 7, 2013. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and I am actually going to show you today repainting the airbox on my 1979 Mercedes 240D. And if you have a steel metal case airbox, doesn't really matter what car you have, this will apply. Basically, this came out of a parts car, and I have the engine out, and when I picked up the car, the old paper element air filter had been sitting in the car outside for probably 15 years. It had gotten waterlogged and disintegrated, then partially eaten by animals, and it was just a wet, disgusting kind of mess in here. And as you can see, it rusted the inside of the airbox, the outside too. I mean, here's the lid, and you can see the opposite side of it. Now, I actually was out here last week doing other stuff, and did scrape and sand down everything. Scraped the inside of the box as best I could. It was just kind of hard to get in there, but it's all clean and degreased now, so it's ready for repainting. And the idea, of course, is to reuse this. So let me show you what I'm going to do today. Now, this here is one of my products of choice. Always has been. This is Eastwood Rust Encapsulator. And this, of course, is not going to be the top coat. This is actually just to go over the surface rust all over the airbox and seal it in and prolong the life of the unit. Okay, I have both pieces now coated in the rust encapsulator. Made sure to get a lot on here. You gotta trust me, even though the surface really does look nasty, I did scrape it down, I did clean it, I did degrease it, so it should be good to go. So once this is definitely dried a little bit, I'm going to turn both these pieces over and hit the other sides with the rust encapsulator. Well, it didn't take long before the rust encapsulator was not tacky, so once it wasn't tacky, I turned it over and I painted the top and the bottom of the airbox. So now that the rust encapsulator is dry, I'm actually going to be priming these. So here's the primer I'm going to be using. It's what I have handy. So I'm going to prime the bottoms here. Wait for them to dry a little bit. Flip them over, prime the other sides, and then I'm going to be ready for paint. And now that the primer is dry, I'm going to apply some paint. Because the paint actually takes longer to dry than the primer and the rust encapsulator, I'm probably going to let this sit overnight before I paint the insides. Here's the paint I have. Just kind of want to use up what I have around the house. Spent a lot of money on paint. This here is actually aluminum colored, so I'm going to paint this and give you a quick preview of how it looks. And amazingly, this is the result. Now, this is still wet paint, and I won't be able to paint the other side until tomorrow, but I gotta confess, I actually expected something a little more dull looking for the aluminum, not something nearly so shiny, so I'll paint the other side tomorrow. But so this here is the final product. I gotta say, I really wasn't sure what this paint was going to turn out like. I probably would have, if I'd had some, I would have gone with the satin black as original, but kind of wanted to use up some spray paint I had in the garage, and not really too much of a stickler for originality. This paint was called aluminum, and I actually figured it would be less shiny, but that being said, I think for the work I put in, it's certainly a decent looking piece, and everything I did should help slow down the spread of rust. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.